So my name is Annette Leslie of the Carson Leslie Foundation, and on behalf of our board of directors, our National Advisory Council, Sky High for Kids, where are you guys? There is another group here tonight helping me out, but we would like to just thank you so much for taking time out of your busy lives to be here. Welcome to the Golden Toast. We are gathered tonight to toast the accomplishments of the Congressional Childhood Cancer Caucus and the childhood cancer community for building an unstoppable, collaborative, global childhood cancer movement. Thank you. It's true. It started 10 years ago this month in a room, in the living room of a man who had lost his buddy to childhood cancer when they were both in the 4th grade. And as a brand new elected official, he tucked that pain in his heart and carried it all the way to Congress. And he has been the leading force bringing the Senate, the Congress, and the childhood cancer community together, which is no easy feat. He's brought us together to combat the big, ugly problem of childhood cancer, the deadliest disease of our nation's children. Congressman Michael McCall and Mrs. McCall launched the Childhood Cancer Caucus in their Washington, D.C. home. Their living room was packed. I'll never forget that night, with senators and congressmen and dignitaries, and just a handful of us moms and dads whose child had died from cancer, pleading for help from the decision makers presiding over the most powerful nation in the world. Donna and Tim Culliver were there. Where are you? There you are. Nancy Goodman was there. Is Nancy here tonight? I haven't seen her. And Susan Weiner? I don't know. Haven't seen her either. But we were all there, and it was quite an honor just to be invited and to be in their home. And now it's 10 years later, because of an absolute resolution and leadership from the Honorable McCall, the steadfast support from co-chairs Representative Jackie Spear, who has been here from the beginning, Mike Kelly, G.K. Butterfield, who are not able to make it tonight, and the unwavering commitment from members, including Sheila Jackson Lee, who was supposed to be here in a few minutes. Together with the unyielding childhood cancer community, we have successfully built a soapbox in the most powerful nation in the world and have placed upon that soapbox the smallest and most innocent patients, childhood cancer patients among us. Together we have passed laws benefiting the overall state of childhood cancer. This, I believe, is bipartisan politics at its finest. So thank you so much. And I think we can all agree that the VIPs and the inspiration behind this whole thing is every single young and fearless childhood cancer patient whose innocent bodies have been invaded by cancer and from the decades-old treatment used to rid their bodies from cancer. Most of them are left with damaged organs, scars across their skull, missing limbs, and their bodies are maimed. But their spirits are vibrant and strong and unscathed and eager to help the next kid. We watch you, we hear you tell your stories, and you inspire all of us. And then there's the way too many that are not here tonight. They've died with cancer still in their bodies. But we were united tonight for the kids that are singing and dancing and playing with their dogs and fishing with their grandpas right now. And then tomorrow, as we all know, just like that, they become cancer fighters. So it's my honor tonight to introduce Hannah and Ned, our VIP of the night, and the inspiration behind this whole evening. Hannah is among the valiant souls whose body was invaded and maimed. But you will see her spirit is absolutely and completely intact. Take it away, Hannah.
She's super nervous. Good. She's great.
We're with you, Hannah.
Hi, My name is Hannah Carson, and this is my dog, Ned. When I was 12 years old, I was diagnosed with a stage 4 high-risk brain cancer called medulloblastoma. I had surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy to treat the cancer that invaded my brain. When I finished treatment, my MRI was clear, or NED, which is an actual medical acronym for no evidence of disease. My cancer was gone. Did I introduce you to my dog? This is Ned. Ned is actually a girl. She's my mobility dog. She is my mobility dog. She helps me walk and gives me something to hold on to. She's like a furry four-legged cane. I could hold on to my mom, or I can hold on to a dog. I mean, what would you choose? I never met a boy named Carson, but I wish I had. He also had medulloblastoma. And I think we would have been good friends. My mom read his book to me, and in it he said, "Today I know a lot about oncology. I know how the word feels, tastes, and smells. It's a word I wish I did not know." Me too, Carson. Me too. Cancer forever changed my world. The tumor caused a lot of pressure inside my head, which damaged my optic nerves. I am visually impaired. The radiation changed the way my brain works. School is harder. Wait, everything is harder. The cancer was in my cerebellum, which affects my balance daily. I loved volleyball and basketball, but I can't play them anymore. I've had to find new activities, like tandem bike riding and a sport for the blind called go-ball. I've had to find new ways to do old activities, like skiing and running. Now I use Guide. My life is different, but I didn't let cancer win. So along with all the childhood cancer survivors who are here tonight, and those who are not, and those who are with us in spirit, it is my honor to introduce to you the Honorable Congressman Michael McCall, founder and co-chairman of the Congressional Childhood Cancer Caucus. Sir, thank you. Thank you for giving kids who have battled cancer a voice. Thank you for giving us a platform and a chance to tell our stories. And most of all, thank you for passing new laws for kids who have battled cancer, who've been affected by cancer.
Nice, sweetie. This is sweet. Wow. It's a tough act to follow. Thank you, Hannah. And thank you, Ken, who's actually a girl. Ned, sorry, actually a girl. Yeah, this annual event, you can't, listen to these stories without tears. I want to thank all of you for being here. All of you who are parents who have children who have survived, like you, sir, and to the parents who are here whose children didn't survive, and to the parents whose children have survived with survivorship issues. My wife, and I want to thank my wife, Linda, because the idea of a childhood cancer summit was not my idea, it was her idea. And it was a good idea. I just thought about forming the Childhood Cancer Caucus. And I did it for a reason, because the children did not have a voice. There are high-paid lobbyists up here that lobby on behalf of, special interests, and yet the children that die and survive, the number one killer of our children Nobody was up here lobbying up here 10 years ago. But I'm proud to say that this is the 10th year of the Childhood Cancer Caucus and the 10th year of the Childhood Cancer Summit. And boy, have we come a long ways. Well, I want to thank my co-chair, Jackie Spears, who's been a great partner. You need to, if any issue could be bipartisan in a broken town where everything's so toxic these days, it's this issue. And Jackie is great at getting people on her side of the aisle. I get people on my side of the aisle, and we get these bills passed. And Jackie, thank you so much. I want to thank Annette Leslie for your support over the years, for hosting this event. We all have read the book Carry Me, little Carson, who passed away. Thank you so much for hosting this tonight. We appreciate that. I want to also thank Kevin Mattis. Kevin, where are you? He's in the back. Kevin makes me laugh when I get kind of teary-eyed about an issue that touches us all. And then Danielle Leach from St. Baldrick's, they've been such a stalwart of support for us over the years. I want to thank the couple who actually, when I first got elected to Congress, came into my office and were so persistent. And Tim, you know who I'm talking about. So persistent I get involved in this issue. And it didn't take a whole lot of convincing because, as Annette told you, my best friend in 4th grade died from leukemia, which was a death sentence back then. Fortunately, today, one variation is not. But Tim and Donna Culver, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. And we remember Adam. And we like Linda better. But Adam's Angels. I want to thank also Nancy Goodman, who I don't think is here tonight. I want to thank oh, you showed up. Okay. We recognized you earlier, but Nancy is the brain trust behind all the great ideas. The Creating Hope Act being the first bill we passed has done so much good for the world and for this country, and we're going to fight on the Hill to make it permanent with all of your help. I mean, just to give you some idea of what the Global Hope Act has done, not global, the Creating Hope Act has done, is eventually we've had so many cures with this voucher system, but there was at MD Anderson, where my wife is on the board of visitors, a childhood clinical trial, a study, that studied immunotherapy. And they used the voucher system that we developed on the legislation to get the drug approved by the FDA. So the Creating Hope Act was part of the process in getting immunotherapy approved, which is on the cutting edge of medicine. Immunotherapy attacks in a personal way the cancer using your own immune system against your own cancer cells without using chemo, which is a World War I mustard gas derivative. Immunotherapy is going to change the way we treat cancer in the modern world. And I appreciate your teamwork with the guy. I'd be remiss on my staff not to give a shout out, and that's Thomas Rice. Yay. And we'll talk more tomorrow. There are so many, Gavin Lindbergh. I don't know, Gavin, where are you? He's right here. Gavin's been there every year for us. Thank you, sir. I don't know if Brianna's here. The first gal that helped us pass the Creating Hope Act on the floor, and we sent her to Nancy Pelosi to get Pelosi's vote. She said, I don't normally co-sponsor bills. But she looked at Brianna, she looked at me, and she said, okay. And that put it over the finish line. And I want to also thank a very special girl that came into my life about 5 years ago that has really kind of transformed me in terms of her positive attitude, taking on a very negative experience and turning it into a positive. Sadie's, we always talk about, Sadie Keller. Truly an inspiration. You know, we need a face for the cause. She's better on television than I am. We were on Wolf Blitzer, Fox News, all this stuff, and a real pro, but the best advocate for the cause, and we love you. We love you. So with that, I'm just going to say, look, it's been 10 years. The Creating Hope Act was huge. We are going to seek to make it permanent, and I want all the advocates, I'll talk to you tomorrow about this more, about our agenda on the Hill. The Race for Children Act, we passed that to look at adult drugs and childhood cancer studies. The STAR Act that we got signed into law just last year. It's a huge step forward, and Sadie was there when the president handed not the author of the bill the pen, but Sadie, which is appropriate. And finally, we want to take this in the future. When I was at Texas Children's Hospital, they showed me a slide, and they said, you know, in the United States of America, it's still the #1 killer of our children, but we have an 80% survival rate. If you go to Africa, it's a 90% mortality rate. We have a program called PEPFAR that State Department has put in place in my new position on foreign affairs to attack HIV and tropical diseases. We want to take this mission global. We want to take defeating childhood cancer global. And we want to change that number, 90%. So with the help of Texas Children's and the pilot program and the bill that we're going to introduce probably next week, we're gonna take the fight global, and we're going to defeat this terrible disease once and for all. Thank you. Jackie? So Jackie needs a little introduction. But she's the co-chair of the caucus, and she's been with me for many years. And she's a dear friend and passionate for the cause. And thank you so much, Jackie, for being here tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. You know, this is one of those heartwarming events. There aren't too many of them in Washington, but this is one of them. And I've got to say to Mike and to Linda, what a remarkable job you have done in 10 years. I mean, nothing moves in 10 years around here. And you've had 3 bills that have been signed into law already, and we're moving on with another set of bills. So I know, Mike, that you take all the credit, but Linda deserves a lot of credit too. So. And I don't know where Hannah is, but in 7 years, we should run her for Congress, because I understand she'll be 25 then. I mean, her speech was flawless, and she had memorized it. And she is an extraordinarily brave and courageous young woman who was a great athlete before she was diagnosed with cancer and played in volleyball tournaments around her state. But she wasn't giving up athletics after she was diagnosed, and so now she's doing track and field, and as she said, a number of other activities. And so, Hannah, 8 years you're running for Congress, right? To be a daily reminder of what we need to do. I'm going to be very brief tonight and just say, I'd like all the children who are here to come forward so we can applaud you, because that's what we're here for. Come on, all of you, come on up. You know, this is what it's all about. And as Mike said, you can't look one of these young people in the eye and not recognize what extraordinary courage and talent they have, and how willing they are to fight on behalf of all the children in this country. So we now have 500,000 children living with cancer. There are children now whose cancer was diagnosed, and because of treatment, they have survived. But we all have concerns about secondary cancers, and so we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that the rest of your lives are filled with joy and health and good fortune, and you're going to make it happen because you're the best advocates for making sure that this legislation all gets passed. And I know that Mike and I both feel very strongly about DIPG and the importance of trying to rid the one cancer that is still taking the lives of children and taking it so swiftly. So more research dollars need to go into that as well. I can just tell you that this is a joy, a personal joy for me to be part of this effort. It was just glass. Ned, what were you doing?
Ned.
So I just want to thank Mike and Linda in particular, Annette, all of you who have been great advocates for this effort, for giving me the opportunity to share with you this great campaign, because we're not going to stop. There's much more that needs to be done, and every one of these young people deserve our full attention to this issue. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Neil Smiley, and I'm on the board of the Carson Leslie Foundation. Hannah said something that really struck me, which was if she had known Carson, they would have been best friends. Well, I did know Carson. My son and his son were very close, and they grew up together, and we were there when Carson was first diagnosed with cancer. And for me, childhood cancer is personal. It took from us a very good childhood friend, and we've been alongside the Leslies as they've struggled with that. And even tonight, as we mixed it up with some of the folks that are here, the pain of suffering with childhood cancer is not over. It's still very much with us. I'm very heartened by the fact that so much has been done. I'm just so appreciative for the sort of bipartisan effort that is represented here and the great progress that's been made. But boy, we still have so much to do. So glad that I'm here. I also want to introduce Ben Appleby. He's going to say a few words and do our toast.
Good evening. My name is Ben Appleby. First off, I want to pass along to Congressman McCall the well wishes of all the Dallas Jesuit grads that told me to tell you hello on my way up here. Go Rangers! Go Rangers! Yeah. Neil and I have the wonderful opportunity to serve the most dedicated, resilient leader in Annette Leslie, and it's a true, it's a gift, it's an opportunity, and it's really awesome to watch the passion that she leads with. And so I think we'd be remiss if we didn't get to say, as people that are in Dallas with Annette, watching her daily, how incredible and inspiring that she is. Thank you. And so on behalf of Hannah and Sadie and our very dear friend Carson, we want to raise our glasses on behalf of all those that are fighting on behalf of childhood cancer. So here we go.